One common issue that I've been seeing arise lately with Tonex users, especially new Tonex users, is their misunderstanding of the difference between amp and cab captures and DI captures. Now, this can be a very important thing to understand, and if you don't understand it and are potentially using a DI style capture, thinking you're using an amp cab capture, you will have a very hard time getting Tonex to sound the way you desire. So let's first of all just run up to the Modeler tab here and talk about how we make captures very briefly. So if we go through the different menus here, we come to the third page of our Modeler tab, and it's the tone model type. So you can see here that we can do amp and cab captures, or we can do amp only captures. Now, this is where the confusion lies for some. So you see here that we have amp cab, and you see here that we have amp. So an amp cab capture is going to capture both the head or the amplifier with a speaker cabinet. It could be a combo, it could be a head and cabinet. And then amp capture is going to be just a DI capture of the amp and is going to require some sort of impulse response or cab simulation for it to sound in a manner that it was intended to. And this is an extremely important point. So coming back to our home tab, I'm coming to my tone model tab up here. You'll see that I am utilizing my Z-Ray Ultimate and DI collection, really killer collection based off of my Dr. Z X-Ray amp. You'll notice here when I'm on my pure tone models alone that if I have the ones that I label DI, and this is just the naming that I use for it, you'll see that it says cab based on nothing because there was no cab captured. And when I load one of those up, you'll see here that the cab block is empty. Now the thing about this, if I actually try and play something on, let's say a slightly overdriven tone here, I'll just use the demos at the bottom. It's really awful, as we would expect it to be, because we're hearing this without any sort of IR or cab simulation. So if I come over here to my preset tab, you can see here that I'll choose the Z-Ray Alt 2, little less gain, little less overdrive, as that's a lower gain level. You see I have my baked in cab, and I've added a little bit of compression, a little bit of reverb, and if I play this with the same demo, sounds nice. You can hear how it has a little bit of this spring reverb on it. And what I can do is I could lock the cab on that, and then when I go down to any other DI capture down here, it will be utilizing the cab that was built in and captured from one of these up here. Now, obviously, we could also come in here and choose one of the VIR or custom IRs. I'm just using this as an example if I lock the cab. So what I did here is I ended up doing just that. I took this particular tone model, I locked the cab, and I went down to the corresponding Alt DI2, and I saved a preset utilizing the DI we listened to over here, which was terrible without a cab, as just a raw tone model. And I came back over here to the DI tone model and added the cab and saved it as a preset, added a little bit of reverb and compression. And now if we listen to this, we hear a really great tone. If I shut the cab off, we're back to this kind of awful grainy tone. So basically now if I switch between the amp cab capture and the DI capture with the cab included, we're going to get a much more similar sound. So the one thing we would want to be extremely careful about is if we are loading up a tone model, please check and see if there is anything in the cab based on column, and that's going to tell you whether this was captured as an amp only or DI capture. If there is a cab that it was based on, that tells you it was captured as an amp cab capture. And if you don't see a cab, or we come up here and we see the cab is empty, we know that it is going to probably not sound too great until we add some sort of cab. So this is a common issue I see a lot of folks having, and I just wanted to do a quick video to kind of make people aware of this, especially new Tonex users. But I have seen even some older Tonex users that maybe haven't used amp-only captures get caught with this issue as well. And this is really the same on many modelers, such as a Line 6 Helix or Quad Cortex. We can add amp-only blocks, and if we don't add a cab after it, it's going to give us similar poor results. So if we understand this, it's going to make our workflow and our enjoyment of the product so much better. I hope that that was helpful, and I hope you please like the video, share it with anybody you think we get some use or enjoyment out of watching, and also please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I'm going to leave you today with the full-blown demo video for my Z-Ray Ultimate and DI collection, which is available at the link below at my website. Thanks again for tuning in. Ciao for now.